The reason you need to do a property development course, we believe, is because property development is sequential. It is just a series of big steps that you take. But inside each of those big steps are lots of little steps, and it's easy to follow when you know the steps to take. You can kind of think like it's very much like Christmas lunch. If you think about Christmas lunch, everyone's coming around, and you've got like we've organised a table of food. You've got the turkey and the salads and the vegetables and the desserts and the pavlovas and all that stuff that people have at Christmas time. And don't forget the strawberries and the chocolate and the wine. So you've got all that. Each one of those things has its own step. Like the salad just isn't a salad. It's got to be put together. You've got to, use your lettuce or whatever you use in yours, and your capsicum and your tomatoes or whatever. But there are lots of little steps that go into making the salad. And that's like property development. There are lots of little steps that go into that little part, which all fits into that particular step. So by doing a course, you're not going to miss one, because property development also is very much like a jigsaw puzzle. There's lots of big pieces. And when it all comes together, it all makes sense and it all works. When you're putting a jigsaw together and you have like the cloud section and they all look the same, or there's the ocean and it's all just blue. So by learning the steps and the little steps, you'll be able to put that piece together, that piece of the puzzle together, and go, of course. And then you're more than likely going to have a great experience and want to go again. So you might be thinking, I can just use the internet and Google stuff, and I could go on Facebook and ask somebody on a platform how to do it. And yes, that is something that you can do, but you can't always trust the answer you get. We do see people post questions and answers, and sometimes we're like, oh gosh, there you go. I remember a few years ago, my son rang me. He was at university, and he rings me and he said, Mum, I'm too scared to go to the doctor. I've got cancer. And I was like, what? And he honestly had Googled on the internet. He had this big lump on his neck, and he was absolutely certain that's what it was. And he was really worried. And I said, look, just go to the doctor and get it checked out. Well, it turned out he'd bought he'd bought a helmet for a scooter because he was at university, and it rubbed on his neck and gave him some sort of blistery, like a blood infection, because he'd bought it secondhand off a mate. If you see how boys live at university, it's not always that hygienic. Anyway, so simple thing was he just needed antibiotics, but he'd self-diagnosed by using the internet. So we can't really trust the internet for everything.